Hey, I'm Joe Cerrone.
And I'm Alan Rosen.
Welcome to CAD-116 Basic AutoCAD and our first Zoom classroom meeting for Basic AutoCAD. Alrighty, so if you're attending the meeting, then you have clicked on the link. We'll be using the same link via Zoom to go through and touch base on what assignments we'll be working on every week. And we'll run this meeting at 9:30 every Tuesday. And so as we take a look at the course shell, we will post in the calendar things that we need to do. For example, getting the AutoCAD set up and running. We have student assistance available. And then you can see we have this laid out in modules. And so module 0 and module 1 with their due dates. We have a pretest that we like to start off with. And the pretest is located in the content section, and we'll touch base on that in just a minute. And then the modules are laid out with the assignments as we go through. And if you attended or watched the video, let someone in the room here. I'm going to pause the recording just to make sure. Resuming. So we'll put the topics that we will be covering in the calendar for students to follow along. And you can just go into the main splash page and you should be able to see just what's going on with the course. And so just like we have in here right now, you know, we wanted everybody to know that today's the first day that we start the class with our Zoom meeting. And then as we take a look at it, we'll record the meetings. And so last week we had a Zoom orientation meeting, and then you can watch that meeting on YouTube. Student assistance is available. Let's see if we can make this a little bigger. And so as you work with these courses, what we're finding is the connection issues are the main glitches that the students will have. Things like getting the software running, being able to access the course and things like that. And so what we've done is we've made ourselves available. And so today, Tuesday, we're here at the Skokie campus in room P131. And you're welcome to come in on Tuesdays and work in the computer lab here if you'd like to work directly. Wednesdays, we're here as well. And so between 9 and 12, we're here for student support just to get you rolling if you have any questions or anything like that. And then Thursday, we offer students individual Zoom classroom meetings. And so if you're like, hey, I can't make it out to campus, but I do have these things that I need to get resolved, request a Zoom meeting. And so these are the times that, you know, we've put out there for support for the students. And the best way to get a hold of us is by D2L email. And so here's your email link. You can just email Joe and Al and say, hey, I would like to get a meeting together to go over A, B, and C. And then we will put these announcements in the splash page, like how to get the software. Okay, the software is located at the student website, students.autodesk.com, and they have a support site. And so if you're having difficulty activating it, and I get those emails as well myself, they just want to make sure that you're still a student. So when you download and install the software, to be able to run it or to be able to download and activate it, you need to get and show them that you're a student. And so here under sign in, you're going to want to use your oakton.edu so that they know that you're a student, and then your password. Then once you have created your user account, you can then download the software or get support. And so you can come in here under support and you can get support if you need that. So you can say contact support And then you can go through and ask for some help in downloading or activating your AutoCAD software. That's what we recommend you first do. And then if that doesn't work, then contact us and we'll put together a Zoom meeting for you. Textbook is located right here. Now, as far as the software, you can download the 21 through 23 versions. And so as we go and we take a look at the download area under products, we can go to AutoCAD and you can download all of these products. You can go and load up. They used to charge $250 per one. And this is giving me the Autodesk. This is not the student version. So let's go back and make sure that we're going through the student portal. And so we want to go into our students. And this is an AutoCAD issue as far as being able to bounce between the student website and the professional website. But we can go get products right here. And then we can go and choose our products and see they've checked my access. And so when I go here, what I do is I just take a screenshot from my Oakton and show them that I'm a student, or, via my email, they can check. You can take a picture of your student ID and upload that. And so when you go to get software, then you can go in here and you can download the AutoCAD software. And so you can use AutoCAD for Mac or AutoCAD for Windows. We use AutoCAD for Windows on campus. And so you can basically come in here. They did come out with the 2024. I haven't had a chance to really look at it yet, as we're still in 2023, but you can choose the download for 2023 or 2022. In the textbook, we have the outline of topics where we're using the textbook. You can either get the textbook on Amazon, or you can get that in the student bookstore here at Oakton. Through the syllabus in the orientation meeting. And so you can check the orientation meeting video. Here's how to install the software. And so if you click on this, we have a YouTube channel that this will link to. This one isn't on the YouTube channel, but it is closed captioned. In this video, I'm going to show. A lot of times we'll download these and put them on our AutoCAD YouTube channel. And so here you can see I go through the registration process to get access. And then they will email you to your Oakton email, a verification email. So if you haven't filled out that step, that's an important component to getting the software and being able to use it for the course. There are other ways to get you started and get you running. If you don't have your student version running yet, you can VPN into the course, which allows you to just use your computer and to connect to an Oakton computer. If we go and look at the content area, we can see that information. So under content, we have an overview. And so from top to bottom, as we look at this website in our guide, we put the information for contacting Al and myself, and the information about the course, when it starts, it ends July 27th, course information. And then each week we'll have a Zoom meeting to go over to the assignments. Attendance is not required. We will record it, but it's a good way to keep in touch. And then again, support for students. We like having students come in person, and we have a great campus to go and show people to work with. Table of contents basically just gives you everything within the course. And then if we look at the syllabus is right here. As this is the first course, there's no prerequisites. There's our learning objectives and the information as we talked about within our orientation meeting. Grading is straight 90, 80, 70, 60 and below. Try to get your assignments in on time so that you don't get assessed a late fee. other course information if you need help or resources. Oakton is a college that provides support to our students, and we have those resources for students who may need extra help. We follow the outline of topics. And so if you're going, hey, what am I doing today? Go to the outline of topics and look at the outline of topics. And so if you click on outline of topics, it will tell you what we're working on. And now let's color coded this. And so the blue is the reading assignments from the textbook, and the green is the actual hands-on modules and assignments. So if we look at chapter 1 and chapter 2, we'll be using this textbook. I use the digital version of it, AutoCAD instructor. And then if we look at chapter 1, the chapter 1 video is on how to get started with AutoCAD. And here's our learning objectives. And what I'll do is I'll make a video outlining these topics. And so if we come back here to the D2L course shell, every week we'll give you the assignments. Read it, blue, do it, green, take the test, in red. And so as you look at, you can just kind of check off what you have to do each week and which chapters we'll cover. And so as we look at every week, next week we'll be covering chapter 5, chapter 3 and chapter 4, excuse me, and then chapter 5, chapter 6, and chapter 7. And we will then create these videos. And so as we look at the steps in D2L, we have the AutoCAD software. Here's some additional information on how to install the software. VPN, so let's say you can't get the software running on your computer. You can VPN, which is a virtual private network, and you just use your web browser to plug into a computer here on campus at Oakton. And so here's the instructions for that. It's a great way if your AutoCAD isn't working to just plug into an Oakton computer on campus and to use a virtual remote desktop and to run your AutoCAD. And we can help you with that if you have questions on that. Just go into the student assistance, send us an email, and request a Zoom meeting. We have other things like the title blocks that we'll be using for the course. And so we'll download those title blocks and we'll use those title blocks for the course. We've put some other things like AutoCAD shortcuts, things that will help you within the course. So things like aliases, where you can just type in 1 or 2 letters from the software interface and run the different commands. And then as we continue to go through and look at these different applications, we want you to take the pre-tests. So your first assignment is to take the student pre-test. And all it is an introduction for Al and I to know that you've attended our meeting and that you're enrolled in the course, and it tells us that you have the ability to access and to turn in an assignment. And so we ask you to turn in the information here. What's your experience with computer-aided design? Tell us about your drafting experience. Why are you taking the class? What would you like to learn? And then we will turn those in the assignments folder. And so here under assignments, turn in these different modules. And so here's our pre-test, and what you'll do is you'll submit that, and you'll just attach that file and submit it. Ready. So let's take a look at the first module under content. And before I do, here's where the quizzes and exams are. So under quizzes and exams, now we don't put due dates on this. You need to complete the test by the end of the class. So we are flexible with that. But the best way to do this test is as you progress through the course. So we recommend that every week you do the reading assignment, you do the drawing assignment, and you take the test. And you can take the test more than once. You can have more than one attempt. And the tests are typically 10 questions about AutoCAD commands. And you can use the computer. You can use the textbook. It's open book, open notes. We want you to be able to access and use the course content information. And module 0. So module 0, we've created a couple of YouTube videos. The YouTube videos basically go through the textbook chapters. And so here's chapter 1 and chapter 2. And so if I click on this link right here, we can go through and demonstrate the information for the textbook on how to go through this different chapter. And so we tie the textbook readings into the chapter assignments. Something a little glitchy on here, Al. It's like my web browser has got too many things in it. There we go. And so here's my chapter 2 lecture. And then as we go through and we take a look at what I've done is I've gone and laid out and tied the reading assignment into the textbook. In the files, I download the title blocks. Basic course navigation and use. So in module 0, we talk about the user interface, and we have information with PowerPoints about the user interface. And then we have a video lecture, and we have some archives in here as well. You don't have to watch all of the videos. They're there for your support. Essentially, you just want to complete the assignments. And so module 0 is just go through the chapters and introduce yourself to the information within the textbook. And then module 1, we get running with creating drawings. And so in module 1, we go through, here's our chapters that we read. Again, here's our learning objectives. And then we'll create these different plate drawings. And so as we go through, here's our PowerPoint lecture for that. Here's an archive of the previous lecture on the interface. Here's our template. And so we can download the template. And if your AutoCAD is up and running, you just open it. If not, then you can VPN and create that. And so here's my AutoCAD. And what we recommend is you have either a printout of the drawing assignment or you use 2 monitors. And so here would be the first drawing assignment. So we use these templates to create these different drawings, and they're basically just geometries that we'll create for these different exercises. Once you have completed the assignment, so if I come back here to AutoCAD, here's my assignments. And so I'll create these different assignments. And so essentially here you have your ribbon across the top, and you have draw commands here. You have modify commands, annotation, which would be like dimensions and text. So you have dimensions and text. And then layers. AutoCAD uses different layers like transparencies. And so when we create these drawings, we'll be creating these drawings on the blue layer, which is these lines that we'll create. And what we'll do is we'll just draw the objects. And so we have a video that shows you how to do that. If I override the color and I go with, let's say, this reddish color to start off, I would start with the line command. And then you want to make sure that your grid and snap are on. And so down here at the bottom, we have these different icons for snap and for grid. And right here in the customization, you basically want all of these things on, you know. And so as we go through, and for constraints, you really don't need, I take that back, some of these other things, but they're not going to make it difficult for you to work. It's going to be more difficult if you don't have something on like dynamic input. We use quite a bit, and we use line weights quite a bit. And then once we have those different things on, the other thing we recommend is this little triangle with the line over it. Hide the menu bar, and then the menu bar disappears. These are tabs for the ribbon. And then if I show the menu bar, this is all the commands with text. And so I like this because you can find everything from these pull down menus. And so, for example, we could go into the tools and drafting settings, and then snap and grid. We want that checked off, that we want our snap on, and that we want our grid on. Polar tracking, we typically enable. And then for this exercise, we really don't need object snap. Object snap will gravitate the cursor to endpoints and lines. And so if I have the drawing set up like that, and I just changed my color, I just come in here with the line command. And as I draw, we'll just use the grid. And then I'll hit escape, pick up the pencil. If I turn the wheel on the mouse, if I push the wheel on the mouse, and so I can get zooming and panning enabled through the mouse. And Al and I are more than happy to go through these exercises with you after our Zoom meetings or during them as we go through. This recording right here is just going to be used for students who may not be able to attend so that they can go through and see what the assignments are. If you make a mistake, you can always hit escape, click on the line itself, and erase it. Takes a little time to get used to using AutoCAD. And I'm not sure, but I'm definitely glitching here a little bit. I've got some wireless keyboard that might be putting all those dots in, but I'll work around it. And that's part of, how we work with these technologies. They never work perfectly every time, but it takes a little while to get used to them. And so we'll create these basic plate exercises. You'll put your initials on them, okay? And so this would be how I would fill out the title block. I come in here with the text application, put the correct date on it, okay? It's important that people who work in manufacturing know when the drawing was created, and they'll look at the date to see if that was the correct print to create. And then as we go through, we'll create these different plate drawings, we'll save them, and then we'll turn those in. So we can save it as an AutoCAD drawing type. I keep a hard drive that's connected to my computer where I have all of my course information for that. So I'll put that in my first week exercise. Here's my plates 1 through 5. I'll save that. And then as I work on these plates, you can have these different tabs that you can fill out and create the other plates for that. Once you have the drawings created, and they're not due right away, you have 2 weeks to turn in the drawings. You will turn in the drawings to the assignments folder. And so I go to the assignments folder, module 0 and module 1, and then I can go through, and here is how you will be graded. You'll be graded with a rubric for completeness, graphical accuracy, using proper design rules like layers, line types, proper dimensioning as required, and then use of proper features. So every week we'll go through a new feature like adding text or creating different geometry with different techniques, and we'll evaluate those. And so then you just come down here to submit your assignment. You say add a file, my computer, upload, locate your file. And so if I go to my Toshiba directory, locate my assignment, I can open that. You'll see that it's attached. I add it. And then if you have a note, you could just say, And so you can share information like, why do I have these dots on the screen, or why is this? And so it's a good resource to not only be able to turn in your assignment, but you can also communicate with your instructor that way. Once we hit submit, it'll tell you that the file has been submitted. You can't take it out, but you can add more to it. And so you could say, oh, I forgot to add something, submitting again, and you can resubmit as many times as you'd like to add. And it'll send you an email to let you know that that file has been received. And Al and I will get a little balloon up here that tells us that we have work to do to go and grade those assignments. We'll grade the assignments, we'll provide you with feedback, and then your grades will be posted here in the grades, and you'll be able to see how you're doing in the course. All righty, and so you can see I've got the little orange bubble. It says that I have turned in an assignment. Okay, with that, I'm going to start to wrap up the meeting. Remember, if you have any questions, just email us. In the meantime, I'm going to stop the recording and I'll open things up for questions. Before I do, Al, is there anything else that we want to include in this recording?
No, not at all.
Right. We've covered all our objectives for today. I'm going to stop the recording and open things up for questions.